who's the next few that we got left?
We've only got maybe 3 more, and even then, 2 of them are negligible. One character I hate even more than Ruckus, Ed Once or the Second.
We never met, but my father talks about you so much, I feel like I know you. Look, I'm just here to get you the out.
That guy, really? Do we gotta talk about him?
He was literally the central antagonist for season 4. We don't have a
Fair
choice.
enough.
Despite being the central antagonist for season 4, he's only been in 2 episodes. Just 2. He basically conned Robert Freeman several times with financial schemes to the point where he eventually tricked Robert into selling himself and his grandsons into slavery out of desperation to cover his debts that he racked up due to his own sheer incompetence. He forced the Freemans and several others to literally work like slaves at his theme park Freedom Land, though it was eventually burned down thanks to Huey. Huey has actually attempted to kill him to erase the debt, seeing as Ed II was not willing to forgive it otherwise, and was more interested in enslaving them regardless to win a bet he made with Ruckus beforehand. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about Ed Once or II. Oh right, he was mentioned at one point in season 1 that he apparently helped the Okay, you remember that store that Ed and Rummy shot up in season 1 when they were supposed to be looking for the Xbox killer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it turns out that the store they shot up was one that his dad helped fucking build.
I have nothing to say about Once or the Second because there would be too
I
much
hate
stuff.
him. I hate him. I honestly just hate him.
And we didn't even watch the Freedom Land episode or acknowledge
We
Freedom
did.
Land.
No, we have to because of 2 things. 1, that he was a central antagonist. And 2,
Technically-
because Huey fucked him up.
I meant like when we got to the whole Freedom Land thing.
I know. It was just stupid, in my honest opinion.
Technically, we didn't watch that episode. We skipped to the end.
Yeah, but I watched it on my own time, and I still dislike it to this day.
So, Hazard, would you be willing to care to the audience and tell them what Freedom Land is?
Basically, the whole slavery thing came to a head where he literally, like Ed Once or II, literally made a theme park themed about black slavery, and actually forcefully enlisted Huey, Riley, Granddad, Tom, surprisingly, and several others into working there as slaves. Now here's the worst part. On the papers, it was supposed to be under ethical job laws and shit. In actuality, it was nothing. It was nothing like that. Oh, and guess what? He put Ruckus in charge of it too.
Welcome to Freedom Land, you lazy bastards. This here is your orientation.
Ruckus, are you trying to tell us that we're supposed to act like slaves and be cool with it?
That is correct. Here you will learn to look down when a rich white man is coming. Buck dance if you hear anything resembling a tune. And denounce any feelings that resemble self-esteem and or self-worth.
Not on your life, Ruckus.
That's even worse.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think I hated that episode? I wasn't kidding when I said I watched it before. I think I knew when to basically get to the one point that you'd actually like in that episode.
A villain that's filler. Much like all the other villains that we'll go to when we review other shows that are filler.
Yeah. In fact, the only reason he was even involved was because Old Man Once or the First put him in charge of financial real estate. Though eventually Ed II lost that position due to his poor handling, apparently, because Ed Once Senior came back. Zammy, Riku, Crossy, any other thoughts on Ed Once II? Because I know Justin has nothing to say about him, apparently.
Meh. Basically Garlic Jr.
Oh, hi there, Kettle. Name's Potts. Have we met?
You know what? I'll take that. I'll take that.
Don't care for it.
I don't blame you. The worst part is he even looks like a scumbag. He's not just an actual scumbag. He even looks like a scumbag.
I don't know if it's just my stupidity or the drinks or this tea I'm drinking. In all honesty, I'd rather put up with Bluster Kong than him.
Why don't you look more in the eye, you fucker?
I'm pretty sure no one can really fault me for saying that either.
But anyways, I think that, the only other characters left worth mentioning are literally, and this is mostly in passing, Stinkmeaner and Luna, since we've already talked about her so much.
Do we even mention Thugnificent or not?
Thugnificent, why not? We're not going to touch on him too much anyway. Because he was only like maybe 4 or 5 episodes total throughout the entire series.
When it comes to certain characters, he has more appearances than those other two a bit, you know what I mean?
True. Thugnificent. I didn't actually write any notes on him, but he's basically a now former rapper who was basically in charge of the Lethal Interjection crew. He literally had an album called Rags to Bitches. And he also at one point was a one-time enemy of Granddad because of how when he moved in, the entire block was turned into a block party for literally 3 days straight. Granddad hated him because of that, and they got into a big beef, and turned into a song called F Granddad, yada yada. And then eventually Magnificent went broke and resorted to selling drugs to try and get back into business, which kind of backfired horribly.
Pardon me, are you selling crack?
What it look like I'm doing? Here.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I'll take 2, please. Excuse me, sir. I'd like to return this crack.
What?
I haven't even got mine yet, and you bringing shit back.
I said I would like to return this crack.
This ain't Walmart, nigga. Ain't no return policies.
Oh my god! I wasn't even. God damn it, hon. So he went from basically. So he went from rags to bitches and back to rags.
Yeah.
Well, mostly. Apparently, according to Thugnificent himself, his homies Mactastic and Flo Nominal, who, by the way, were voiced by Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes, Mactastic, aka Snoop Dogg, went back to pimping, and Flo Nominal went and took a day job, only for Thugnificent to accidentally get him fired.
And now Thugnificent works as a delivery boy.
For the UPS.
Well, I only have a few things to say about Thugnificent.
Let's hear it.
Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt.
God damn it!
Shut your bitch ass up.
God
booty butt, booty butt, booty butt.
I hate you both.
Hopefully, you know.
Y'all both a bunch of Rileys.
Me and Justin be on top of that goddamn truck, be like booty butt, booty butt, booty butt, booty butt, jinx.
God damn it.
Our leader, everybody.
And our guest.
That song is fucking funny, at least.
Yeah,
by the way, about that was actually made into an actual song, believe it or not. Not even joking. I mean,
just fucking said it, booty butt.
Booty butt.
Anything else you want to name off Thugnificent about?
Funny fucking guy.
Yeah, guess who voiced him, by the way? I just checked. The rapper Will.i.am.
I knew it.
Britney,
I knew
bitch.
it was.
It.
I know because you know how I know it's Will.i.am though.
How you know?
What?
Cause I'm like that because of that fucking song. When I heard his voice, what Will.i.am was like, that's the same nigga.
But yeah, like I said, I actually looked up the songs just to see if they actually existed on YouTube, and some of them actually were made into full songs. So keep an eye out. Oh right, I almost forgot one. A pimp named Slickback. But before we go to that, anyone else got thoughts on Thugnificent before we move on?
No, like I said, funny ass nigga.
Crossy, your thoughts?
Oh boy, funny ass nigga.
God damn it, hon. You were no help.
Zanny, your thoughts?
I just said it.
What was it?
Booty butt.
Booty butt jinx!
I figured it would have been stomp him in the nuts, but okay.
Booty butt, booty butt, booty butt.
No, that's an actual song, by the way.
Stomp them in the nuts. We'll stomp them in the nuts.
Booty butt girls everywhere. Woo!
The sad part is that's an actual song. Stomp him in the nuts. Ugh.
Stomp him in the nut. Stomp him in the nut.
I hate you. Moving on. A pimp named Slickback. Oh boy, this is gonna be a treat.
Now, before you guys, before we go down to there, first off, before y'all ask, yes, that's officially his name. It's not just pimp. It's not Slickback. It's actually, you have to say the full name, a pimp named Slickback.
As a conquest.
God damn it, I hate you. Anyway, he's a pimp.
The whole thing.
Okay, this actually dates back to when Granddad apparently was dating a prostitute, trying to turn her into a housewife. Sadly, he failed. But this actually turns out to the fact that he was revealed to a pimp named Slickback. Basically, is an actual pimp, apparently, who was surprised the pimp of Granddad's girlfriend at the time, Crystal. And to make a long story short, he was a very stereotypical pimp. Though, ironically, he was surprisingly good at fixing people's marriages.
I want to help you, Tom, I do. But I need you to help me help you. Tell me, if you would, about this bitch you have an unhealthy dependency on.
Could we please not call her a bitch?
Say it, bitch. Yeah. Yes, we've got to call her that, Tom. I'm sorry. After what she's done, not calling her a bitch would be disrespectful to you, and I'm not able to do that.
And he's apparently such a pimp that he actually pimped out his own grandma.
Everybody loves wrinkles.
I like a grandma.
So it's a safe bet he probably pimped out his own mom too.
Probably his own sister too, if he had one.
I assume he probably does. Any thoughts on a pimp named Slickback?
I mean, even though he's a pimp, he did help Tom give some advice, even though it wasn't the right kind during the whole.
The best.
What'd you say, hon?
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
It wasn't the best, but it did help Tom try to put some confidence, or not confidence, some. Okay, he helped him grow a pair a bit during the whole fucking
Usher
whatever
incident.
his name. Usher. I want to call him T-Pain for some reason.
God damn.
Auto-tune music, I guess. I don't know. His advice is normally I would say he gives good advice, but now that I'm Riku, I swear to fuck.
God damn
That's a mistake. That's a mistake. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. I'm sorry.
As I want to say before I get cut off again, I was going to say he gave good some advice, but then I wanted to stop and second thought myself and say, that's probably a thing I shouldn't say, given you should never take advice from a guy who's a pimp. But yeah, pimp named Slickback, I can't really give him too much thoughts or opinions because he was only in 2 episodes?
I think it was in 3 episodes at most. I can't remember because he was going to originally be in. He was going to originally be in season 4, from what I heard, but he was absent for pretty much a good chunk of season 3 and 4, where he could have been a made appearance. But that was because apparently his voice actor Cat Williams got in some legal trouble. I don't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that explains a lot.
Hence why season 4 had Flizzy taking over to help out Tom.
And yeah, there were I don't remember all the details behind that legal trouble BS, so I'd have to look into that at a later time.
I'm not brave enough for politics.
But yeah, there you go. Pimp named Slickback.
Does anyone want to give their thoughts on Pimp named Slickback, or should we just end it with the pimp's prayer?
Let's say the pimp's prayer.
Oh my fucking god.
Lord, please pray for the soul of this bitch and guide my pimp hand and make it strong, Lord, so that she might learn a hoe's place. Amen.
Amen. Yeah.
Nah.
Okay, moving on then.
Yes.
Alright, the last one I could honestly think about talking about is either Luna or Stink Meaner, and we explained Luna pretty heavily earlier, so.
I will say it once, and I said it twice, I'll probably say it a third or many times. She is literally a crazy kung fu wolf bitch who's got a toxic friend that corrupts her head easily and stuff and won't learn to shut the fuck up. If Luna actually stopped listening to her friend, she would get her head on straight and actually get her life back on track.
Yeah, she
learns that move called the Kumite.
It's actually a deadly martial arts tournament. At least what I've heard about the Kumite. I mean, there was literally that one scene where Luna literally killed her opponent Mortal Kombat style. Yeah, I think we've all said our thoughts on Luna earlier when we were talking about Granddad, but any other thoughts you want to say about Luna?
Honestly, there's not much to say given how we literally discussed it all during Granddad's relationship issues.
Fair. The only one left is Stink Meaner, and I'm gonna leave that to y'all. All I'll say is that he's an angry old man who hates everyone and everything. He hates people in general, as it is. He also hates anything that has to do with happiness, peace, or friendship. Or basically anything positive, really. He's just toxic. He also basically fought Granddad in a street fight, only to get killed. which resulted in which was the prime example of what one would call in the Boondocks a nigga moment.
Let's just say Stink Meter has been in a lot of episodes and scenarios. One that could be dealt without. So literally, Stink Meter has been in episodes where one, the nigga moment episode. Two, when he came as a spirit and possessed Tom's bitch ass.
Yeah, he's technically appeared, visually he's appeared 3 times, but he technically made a 4th appearance in season 3. Only as a narrator rather than, an actual... Well, no, he did appear in a flashback, so that's 4. Never mind.
It was when he was the Hate Society, was it?
The Hateocracy.
Yes, the Hateocracy and the Clone episode, which honestly was kind of dumb.
Very.
And I guess if you want to count that one nightmare Huey had, where a bunch of millions of fucking versions of Stink Meter. Oh wait, was it Huey? It was Granddad who dreamt that. A bunch of Stink Meters were invaded in the house and stuff, and when he woke up, he was happy because he escaped.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
I guess I'm surprised.
But honestly, yeah. Point is though, Stink Meter is he's not a person you want to be friends with. Unless you're Uncle Ruckus, because somehow they actually did become friends somehow.
Yep.
And that's a scary thing.
Those two being friends is not good for anyone's sanity, period.
A nightmare. A chaotic nightmare.
Who wants to give their thoughts about Stink Meaners?
His voice would be perfect for memes, for characters.
You're not wrong.
Oh yeah! Look at you! You was popping all that good shit a second ago, then you got kicked in your chest! You eat a dick, nigga! You eat a dick!
Alright, Riku, your thoughts on Stink Meaner?
A funny motherfucker. A funny, insane motherfucker.
He's a funny yet toxic motherfucker in my book, but okay.
Yeah. The person, the master of nigga moments.
He's the one who you might as well say he practically invented it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy, your thoughts?
He's in hell now, so.
Yep. He went back to hell.
Though I wouldn't be surprised if they did do another episode with him. I wouldn't be surprised if the devil.
Oh God!
Can I finish, please, before you cut me off?
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just saying.
It's good. I'm just saying. Though I wouldn't be surprised if the devil himself was just like, yeah, fuck this shit, and just spat him out of hell and just brought him back to life.
Funny you mention that. He earned the devil's respect, apparently.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh shit!
All right, people. Now that we moved on, talked about certain characters. Note there is a lot of other characters we could talk about, but mostly given how they're like one-offs or 1 or 2 offs and make rare appearances and stuff, there's not much to give off we could work with or talk about. And if we do, it will be too much to work with, and this review will take forever. So, guys, let's start doing this, and everyone's going to talk about their favorite episode of the Boondocks series.
Oh boy.
Okay, so Riku, since you're the guest, you want to talk about what of the episode of Boondocks is your favorite?
I'll say the Bob Ross episode.
Mm-hmm. I love that episode.
That's understandable.
The Bob Ross episode. It's because this is why I say that. Because we got to know Huey's talent and Granddad's talent and Jasmine's talent. We know everybody else's talent except for Riley. And I'm glad they showed that Riley has a passion for art and art in general. That has really got us to know about more about Riley more than anything. Instead of him be like some dude from the streets, that he's known as a very talented artist. And the only reason, and that's my favorite episode, because he did a painting in front of his house of his granddad and his wife. That's why that's a good moment right there. I love it.
Any others like you can list more than one episode, dude.
I'd say that's only my top one for right now, because that one's my top one because of that.
That's
fair. All right. Zammy, what about you?
I actually got 2.
Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Sam.
No, actually 3. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, Sam.
Okay, so the first one is when Grandpa was thugging out that gold digger while she was basically in the house freeloading, doing nothing.
In other words, the guest host coming to dinner episode.
It's like, That one's one of my favorites because we actually got to see the loving part of Grandpa for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, second one has got to be that chicken virus shit.
I don't blame you. I can't blame you in good conscience.
And the third one is when Grandpa quote unquote found his son, but it was actually not his son. We actually got to see his loving side again.
So in other words, Granddad's good moments, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable. Understandable.
Crossy, what about you?
Oh, the Bob Ross episode.
That's the only one, babe?
Yeah, and the chicken virus episode.
Fuck yeah.
It's one more. It's one more I like too. Well said.
Then you should have said it when I asked.
Like, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's it. All right, go ahead and say it.
Just say it already.
Yeah.
You forget already?
Say it, pussy. You won't.
The chocolate episode.
I can't fault you.
my
I
God.
can't fault you. That was a well-written episode. Despite my dislike for Riley during that episode, I can't fault you. That was a good. That was good writing.
Speed gangsta.
All right, Hazard, you got?
I've got
you
5, but with good reason. And this was a tough choice to make on these 5. The one of them was definitely the red ball episode with the kickball episode specifically, because it showed not only Huey's development as a character, but it also showed that basically it was kind of a pun. Like, I know it was supposed to be a parody of, you know, the whole US-China relations thing, but at the same time, it also showed that Huey there was actually something that actually could get under his skin royally other than people's ignorance. And he said he didn't like being laughed at because it basically made him do some pretty horrible things when he's angry. Like, for example, how he apparently gave a girl a permanent limp, only to turn out to be false later because she got therapy. But also when he basically faced off against Ming with some Shaolin soccer bullshit. I mean, you can't say I'm wrong about that. Another one had to be the Wingman episode where Granddad basically had to go to Mo's funeral. But the one moment that got me was, well, 2 moments that got me. One, Huey and Riley's payback against Cairo and that idiot Dewey. But 2, when Granddad's ex-best friend got him back from beyond the grave. I want to leave you something very near and dear to me. These nuts, nigga! Now, the other 3 episodes, and this was a tough call to make, honestly, because these were well-written episodes. The Hateocracy episode was a favorite. Like, that won't change because it really showed just how... It showed a lot of continuity, but also showed that the Freemans would do whatever it took to survive. And you can't fault them for what they had to survive to begin with. So there's that. And the last 2 that were favorites of mine, again, tough calls to make. The Martin Luther King episode, actually, was one of them. The reason being because it gave us a look on how the world could have been so very different had Martin Luther King survived. You know, that the shooting that killed him back in the 60s.
Yeah.
So, if you think about it, it makes too much sense. In a twisted way, it makes a lot of sense. Also, one other thing I have to point out with the Wingman episode I mentioned earlier, it also showed that Huey did have a soft side for somebody. And he did have one for Jasmine, who initially was worried that Huey was going to leave her behind when he said he was going back to Chicago. But it went full circle where Huey came back, and Jasmine basically, you know, she was happy. And Huey tolerated that shit. I mean, you could tell he respected her deep down at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the Lando Freeman episode. And you can't blame him for that one. Because Granddad showed some character development, some very good character development at that. But it also showed me some funny moments with where Rummy was ready to kill Lando at Granddad's order. Just, good God, man.
I was about to say the Soul Plane episode.
No, actually. I was considering that, but I'm like, nah. The Lando Freeman episode got me. The Lando Freeman episode got me more because, again, it showed Granddad's better sides as a human being. And I like that. That and the part where Huey pimp slapped Riley for book. Sorry. Fuck you, Riley. Oh,
Soul
I'll mention
Soul
this. I'll give this one honorable mention: the Booty Warrior and the Fundraiser episodes. And you can't fault me for those. Those were funny as hell. The
Yeah.
Fundraiser was in its own right twisted and funny because it was clearly a Scarface reference from start to finish. And I gotta point out the whole thing about Granddad and how I put this, Granddad getting high. That was an honorable mention for me, but there you go. Those are my favorites. I've given my reasons. Y'all can continue.
Personally, one of my favorites was, aside from the chicken episode, because I did enjoy that a bit, even though the Shears of Stupidity went on that one. I also like the Hateocracy episode. That was nice and enjoyable. I actually did enjoy the Soul Plane episode. That's one of my personal favorites because, not really because of them in the movie theater themselves, just like Huey going around and stuff, and literally fighting Uncle Ruckus. That was enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed seeing that match go down. I did enjoy the Ebony Brown episode. It was very interesting for what it was, and seeing how sure Granddad did a total 180, but something seeing how there's actually this perfect fucking woman in the episode that's not toxic at all
And hasn't tried to
and
kidnap his
just
grandkids.
or ruin people's lives or some shit like that is literally an eye opening to me. It was even shocking to me. You know what I mean?
I just love your life. You have these crazy adventures with these bizarre characters, and it's so much fun.
Never thought about it like that. Seemed like a bunch of problems to me.
I want to be a character.
Cameo or reoccurring?
Regular.
Okay, let's stop breaking the third wall.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally, like, there is nothing wrong with Miss Ebony Brown. Like, 100%. Like,
It's
just wow.
It's just kind of sad that technically it's Granddad's own fault that the relationship goes south.
Exactly. It's okay. I liked the episode of the Ebony Brown because it was very interesting to see, like, how the Boondocks, given how wacky and insane the show is, they were able to create a character like that. You know what I mean?
And make it a more serious and touching, like, episode as well. I mean, honestly, that's all I can honestly say about that. Like, that's all I want to say, basically. Okay, so now we got to draw the characters, like, well, all the characters and which episodes we liked. Any episodes y'all hated at all?
Well, there's plenty of those.
More Kardashian.
Well, let's go. Well, let's go down the line. Firstly, let's go through the line. Who wants to start on telling the least favorite episode? Rico.
So I come back to me for that one. I need to think.
Hey, Al, I got my least favorite episode.
Oh, this
Go ahead.
right here.
The one where we skipped, where Ruckus had his reality show.
Oh yeah.
That one.
I hated it. I hated it, but I hated the Jimmy Rebel one even more. Like, because one, it involves Ruckus making country music. Bad enough I hate Ruckus as it is, but worse when he makes country music. I'm not a fan of country music at all. I'm sorry. For any country music fans out there, I'm sorry, but I don't care for it.
You're not missing much.
I hated the Jimmy Rebel episode because it was just so unbelievably racist. As on top of, like, it was racist to levels even I couldn't tolerate. And here's the thing: being a black guy, here's the thing: I have tolerated more than my fair share of racist jokes and shit, but there's a limit to that shit in my book. There's a fucking limit. It was just bad. That and a good chunk of season 4 I honestly did not like at all. Any ones you don't care for, Justin, Crossy? Like,
I'll agree with Zammy on that one. That's some recent. That's the one that popped into my mind. Right.
Yeah,
I forgot what the episode. I forgot what the name of the episode was, but that
the Uncle Ruckus reality show. It was literally called the Uncle Ruckus reality show.
Yeah, Uncle Ruckus reality show. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I hated that, and that's my least favorite. That's and the hair gel.
The hair gel. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you know.
I know the Kardashian one's one you really couldn't stand, but any others?
Yeah. Nope, that's just it. And also Freedom Land.
I don't blame you. That was one of the episodes I really hated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the thing was, remember, I watched every episode of Boondocks, including the ones we skipped for this review. I watched every single one of them, and I can honestly say I did not care for a lot of those episodes. Like, don't get me wrong, I know it's satire, but still, like I said, there's just some things even I have a limit to tolerating. Justin, any ones you didn't care for, or just basically despised?
There was a couple. Most of them were from season 4, though. Most of them involve, well, the whole Riley incident where the whole gay and retarded thing that irked me a bit.
I don't blame you. Even I questioned the shit out of episode. Like I said, I have my tolerance of shit, but even I have to question what was the point behind that episode. I just feel, I think that episode was just badly written.
I'm saying they took that shit way too far right there. They went too far about that shit.
In a number of ways, yeah, they did.
Yeah, I don't got much to say about it. Other episodes, you know what? This has to be mentioned. Zami will probably agree with me or hate me for bringing this up. That one weird, well, two of them I actually hate. That one rapper who got kidnapped by his former crew just saying, "Because I'm in love with you, man." That episode.
Gangstalicious.
Yeah. That one was just.
Yeah, what would they call it? Thug in Love? Ugh.
Yeah, Thug in
Don't get me
Love.
wrong. I have nothing wrong. I have no issue with the LGBT community, but there are just some things like I'm a straight man. I'm not sure if I'm entirely like, what's the word? Like, I don't need to see other people do their business. That's between them. That's all I gotta say.
In the words of Riley, nigga, you gay.
Yeah, you actually bringing up the next thing I don't like. It's that one where that one rapper that when he came back and stuff, and there was this whole gay freak out shit, and where Riley almost had that moment where he was thinking he wore. Yeah, that
Riley
incident,
completely had a meltdown on that one, actually.
So literally, I had no problem with it. It's just that was just
to have an 8-year-old kid who here's the thing you have to remember. Exposing kids to that stuff back in growing up in the 90s and 2000s for me, legit, there's a reason why a lot of that stuff was banned from cartoons initially. Because kids, we're talking kids younger than the age of 10 have no business having to already learn about sexuality at that age. That's something they learn when they hit puberty. But that's just what I grew up knowing. I mean, I could be dead wrong at this point, but that's just me.
But yeah, that was an episode. Those kind of episodes could have been lived without, you know what I mean? Because those were weird directions, and they weren't even that bad as most things from season 4 and shit. You know what I mean? They were just I'm sure some people might disagree. They find it funny, and it was humorous, yes, but that was still weird, man. It was confusing and fucking weird. But yeah, I think that's all I gotta say about my disliked episodes. Ugh. I guess we can talk about favorite characters and all that shit. But before we do, we forgot a little piece of information and stuff of how the show was all made and shit. Hazard, if you please.
I'll get through as quick as possible, save time. Basically put, initially the Boondocks was on a comic strip called from a site called hitlist.com, which is a music website, believe it or not. Then it got into Source Magazine, and following this, Magruder was pitching it as both a syndicated comic strip, and it was pretty long-lived, surprisingly. But it was also vindicated as, he also tried to pitch his animated TV series.
Right.
In fact, the Boondocks comic strip started in April 1999. As for the cartoon, it took a bit longer, up till 2004. And at the time, the president of Adult Swim basically said that he stumbled across the pilot of the Boondocks, and he said that the original pilot for it was too networky. He basically told Magruder the following thing. He asked for 15 episodes in one season, and he said, just tell stories with it. Just that. Now, believe it or not, the series actually has a loose connection with the comic strip. And at one point, Magruder tried to, have them form somewhat a similar continuity to each other, but he also basically, initially, okay, you know how Riley has his cornrows in the cartoon, right? I almost said anime for a second. The long and short of it is, originally, Riley wasn't supposed to have cornrows. If you look at the comics, he didn't. He had, a mini afro like Huey did, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, Magruder made a point to try and synchronize that together, so he went with that. And believe it or not, you're not gonna believe where Magruder got his ideas for the Boondocks comic and cartoon from. You'll call bullshit when I say this too. He got it from anime and manga, but believe it or not, he also got it specifically from animes like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. And originally, he was going to have the series animated by the studio Madhouse, which is the same one that animated Black Lagoon. But the deal didn't work out, so another studio took up the job. And originally, they were going to have a season 5 for the Boondocks due to an announcement back in 2019. But John Witherspoon died shortly after that. And because of it, the revival was postponed indefinitely. But with how Ed Asner died recently, that might not happen at all. So we might not be getting the Boondocks, period.
Mm-hmm. Unless they do a time skip thingy or not.
Again, that could hurt the series.
I'm just saying no.
I know. The show has been hit by has been a frequent it's been considered controversial for a number of reasons. The humor in the comics and the cartoons, unpopular views on various issues including race and politics. And believe it or not, when they were on Adult Swim, 2 episodes from the Boondocks were removed from the broadcast without any official word whatsoever. The 2 episodes that were removed were the Hunger Strike episode and the Uncle Ruckus reality show.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being was that Viacom threatened Sony with legal action if those episodes were aired. And the reason being because the 2 episodes that were removed were critical of BET, basically. And BET was owned by Viacom, so there you go. So yeah, that's basically the gist of the Boondocks overall. In terms of, little factoids here and there. So let's see. We've already gone through least favorite and most favorite episodes. Characters y'all like. Y'all already know who is my favorite at this point. If y'all don't know me know enough, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, your favorite character is Huey.
Pretty much.
I think Zappy's obvious favorite character is Cindy. Am I right, hon?
Yeah! I fucking knew it.
Oh, that's no surprise. And Rika's favorite character is Riley.
Yeah, but I also have one more.
Oh?
And that is...
You'll be surprised about this.
Let's hear it.
I'm a little bit about to say it's 50-50 with me, but I will say a little bit of Tom.
You know what? Given some of his development points, I don't fault you there.
Tom, this is the reason I said Tom. That's what I said Tom too. Like you said, I just would say he's a bitch, but at least he tried to be dominant to set his wife straight.
And he eventually succeeded in season 4.
Exactly. At least he tried.
Fair enough. So, reasons y'all like these characters. I know, if I'm right, I know Crossy's favorite, but Crossy, go ahead.
Jasmine.
I'm not surprised, honestly. I mean,
Huey.
I can't blame you. I really can't blame you. Jasmine...
Mostly it's because we're Hazard.
No.
Well, to be fair, Jasmine is one of those people you just want to give a hug to. Let's be honest. I mean, and Justin, your favorite?
I have to think. I don't know if I have any favorites, to be honest with you.
Fair enough. I mean, I've had one or 2 times I haven't had no favorites, so.
To be honest, so it's hard to say because there's a lot of characters and stuff. I mean, I did enjoy Huey, Riley, and Granddad. I did like them, but aside from them 3, not really. I like because a lot of them I just didn't. I enjoyed their company, or I just they just annoyed the piss out of me, to be honest.
Fair. I'm gonna be honest. I half expected you to say Rummy at one point.
I do like Rummy. He makes me laugh. Yeah.
And the fact that he quoted one of Samuel L. Jackson's lines from Pulp Fiction has nothing to do with it. Right. Say what again?
Come